What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Great Stoned Podcast. I'm Dragon, Great Stoned Dragon, if you're not into the whole brevity thing. And as always, I'm joined by my faithful co-host and best friend, Nolan. Today's episode started on a little bit of a somber note. About an hour and a half before we started the podcast, I found out that a dear friend of mine passed away, and it was a very hard thing to hear, and it was even harder to podcast through, but we know he's in a better place. Shout outs to John. I love you. I can't wait to meet you again. But to everybody else, Nolan and I get into the same typical vein that we do with a nice stony conversation about spirituality, Lord of the Rings, Magic the Gathering, all sorts of nerdy stuff that we got going on, as well as storytelling from the days of yore, our first bands, some of those experiences, what band dynamics can be like, and much, much more. So thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. I think it's a great one. I hope you do too. Keep in mind, Nolan and I are pretty toasty the whole way through. So if you're rolling one or packing up with us, I hope it treats you well. Let's get into the podcast.
We's gonna get silly, bitches.
Welcome to the Mellow Show.
Oh my God. I showed that to my wife a couple weeks ago, and it was so great.
Did she like it?
Oh yeah. She thought it was funny, but here's the thing. And this is what I wanted to talk to you about. Yesterday, I finally acted on something that you have talked to me about and many others have talked to me about. I turned on season 1, episode 1 of King of the Hill, and with my morning wake and bake, and I just started letting it play. And she and I both were just mesmerized. We killed the whole first season yesterday. We just couldn't turn it off. It's the most laid back watching experience too. Like it's so funny, dude.
It's so, and because early on you see the bad animation, it's like, that boy ain't right, and like fucking Bobby is like, it's very primitive of the time, and I think they still like we're trying to figure out their footing, but it's like watching the Mona Lisa getting painted, bro.
It's awesome. One of the best shows for sure, and like Mike Judge is such a genius because like I've always loved Beavis and Butthead. I
never liked Beavis and Butthead.
I love them. Funny. It's so great to me. Yeah. But then I watched that movie Idiocracy. I'd never seen that before, and oh my God, it's a work of art, man. It's so accurate in defining where we're at in society.
I only just saw Idiocracy for the first time last year.
It's so good, dude. I was blown away with how funny
that
movie was.
That you found.
I
always thought that you were aware of it.
See, and that's it. I was aware of it, and I had seen an episode here or there, but I never like locked in and paid attention. And so, now when I'm talking to people about it, it's like I'm surprised you seem like the type to have totally watched that. It's the same thing as me and Caltheon and Bark this week. I picked up a game called Schedule 1, and I'd never played it, but they played it, and it was all about like growing weed and like selling drugs, and it's like you look like Bob's Burgers characters.
Not a game.
Yeah, right. And they were like, I'm amazed that you of all people have not played this yet. I know, right? This is crazy.
Well, dude, okay, so King of the Hill, number one, two things. Number one, that used to be my like fall asleep show on Hulu back in like COVID era.
Yeah.
Like right before, after, kind of in that 2019, 2020 era. I would fall asleep every single night, get, super baked and fall asleep to King of the Hill or It's Always Sunny, just either one of those.
Yeah.
King of the Hill is the best show to just sleepy and pass out to because it's just such a nice little vibe. Yeah. So number two thing is I didn't really appreciate King of the Hill until I was older. Now that you've seen it, I'm sure you can kind of, because I'm sure I brought this up before in conversation, but now for context, we can kind of bring it back to this, but I'm sure you resonate with this. As a kid, I didn't really like King of the Hill for the same reasons why I didn't really resonate with movies like that are more story driven, like a Batman Begins or something like that, which I now love and appreciate. The reason why I didn't really like King of the Hill as a kid is because I wanted the fast paced
slapstick,
the slapstick, the Family Guy, the very outlandish, whatever, keep my attention, blah, blah, blah. I thought King of the Hill was just kind of boring and stuff. Like it would come on and I was just like, oh yeah, that show's okay. I don't really get it. Boomhauer's kind of funny. Okay. You know what I mean? Cause it's kind of outlandish and out there. But as an adult, I watched that show and I was like, this is the funniest show of all time. Like dying laughing, dude. Like it's just so relatable because I've met every character of this show. It's based in Texas, but it's just such a good, you forget you're watching a cartoon. It feels like you're watching a sitcom of like I almost forget that there's no laugh track or anything. It feels very much like a 90s sitcom that's just like, well, howdy there, Jim. Blah, blah. It's almost kind of got Andy Griffith Show vibes, but like obviously it's more edgy and, they cuss and stuff in it, but it's not nearly as like, this reminds me of that time or blah, blah, blah. So like my brains and taste have changed. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
my frontal lobe is developed now.
Your perspective has widened too.
Totally. Yeah. And tastes have gotten better.
Developed.
Yeah. So it's great, man. I'm so glad that you watched it. And there's only one episode or two that I've skipped overall with King of the Hill that are in like the old seasons and stuff. Honestly, the newer stuff that came out last year, I'm not a fan of. To be honest, it's good, but it's just not the same, and you kind of understand. But I mean, it's still whatever. But there's enough in the old season. There's like 10, 12 seasons, dude, like of the old shit where you can just like binge and binge and binge and binge. So have fun with that. But also like the only episode I would say that to skip is like there's one where this guy like has Luann been on the show yet?
Oh yeah, she's on.
Okay. Hi, Uncle. Hi. Like she's so funny.
Dude,
so
real quick, in that first episode when the social worker is trying to take Bobby away, and then Hank's like, what if we give him Luann?
Yeah.
He gets to the door, he's like, I got somebody back here you can have. Yeah. It's so funny. Okay, go ahead.
I forget which season it is, but there's I'll try to find the episode actually, so that I can just tell you in advance to avoid this one, because this is the only episode of King of the Hill that's made me uncomfortable.
Oh crap!
Pig episode. What is that? Pig. Yeah. Oh, it's not till like season 7.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like an episode where this like rich guy, like he's like a farmer. I don't even know how to explain it. Yeah, it's like season 7, episode 9. Okay, yeah, you're good for a while. Okay, he like wants to like dress up like a pig. It's like this weird like horror movie dystopian like arranged marriage. It's just kind of creepy. It gave me like creepy vibes. Like it's the only episode that I would say to skip. Other than that, like that show is fucking timeless.
Golden. Have you ever gone over like season over season of a show that you like and like looked at the like individual episode reviews to see like which episodes were like lower ranked than other episodes?
Sometimes I'm also not a big show guy, but I've done that with like Sunny and like I guess maybe I did it with like Family Guy back in the day. Probably not, but I've definitely done it with like Sunny episodes to be like, oh, this episode got like a IMDb like 9 out of 10, but this one got like
yeah,
like
it's fun
or something.
I think it's fun to look at. Okay, so looking at this season 7 King of the Hill, season 1, episode 1, 7.6, 7.1, 7.1, 7.5, 7.4, 7.4, 7.7 on episode 7. Is that it? Is episode 9? Pygmalion. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It's still got 7.3 out of 10. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I think I watched it. It's still like it'll probably come up. You'll probably forget I even told you that. I mean, you might, and then it'll come up, and you'll be like, "Oh, I think this is the one that no one told me." Because by the time you get to seasons, like the end of seasons, you know what I mean? Like that'll take you a while.
Sure,
they'll be now or whatever. But it just made me uncomfortable. I think because like the first time I saw it, I was like, it's a little disjointing from the rest of the episodes. It just didn't feel. It gave Bank
Vault episode.
Yes.
So Family Guy Bank Vault episode.
The vibes of the it wasn't like it is King of the Hills version of that for like
cool.
Me being able to communicate the vibes to you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean? Like maybe there might be other people that be like, that episode wasn't bad. I didn't think. Maybe it's just I saw it when I got my wisdom teeth taken out and I was like kind of delirious and I was like, this is fucking me up. But the rest of the show, the rest of the show's vibe is so fucking funny. Like Dale has no idea that his son is actually John Redcorn's son.
Oh, dude, I noticed that episode 1, and I was like, that's so fucking funny. That's her
Nancy,
healer.
And Nancy is still getting fucking massages from him, quote unquote, to this day. She's hilarious too. Oh my god, like just the character dynamics on there, and like.
But he was like,
you'll know.
What are we gonna do for dinner? She's like, I left you a carton of cigarettes on the table, and he's like, all right.
All right. Yeah, Dale is great. He was my favorite for a while.
He's so
have they
funny.
introduced Have they introduced King of the Hills
Or Hank's dad?
Hank's dad.
Oh God, he's awful.
Cotton
Yeah.
is my favorite dude. He's like, "Hey, Hank's wife, get over here!" Like he's so mean. He's like, "I got my legs blown off, or my shins blown off in the war. I don't want to hear you complain." He reminds me of I think I laugh at him being so like mean is because he reminds me of my grandma. Like obviously not like she wasn't like a war veteran, but that whole like, what are you complaining about? Oh, you're lazy. Like that whole thing, like those vibes. Like he's like a comical, like hyperbole version of my grandma.
And I think that's part of what's so great about King of the Hill is that it's like infinitely relatable. Like anybody can watch that and be like, I can relate to that. And ultimately that's what gets the most like fan favor, is something that you can relate to. Dude,
what I love, one of my favorite wholesome things, you knowing my mom as an adult, like as kids I wasn't as a kid I wasn't really able to show my mom a lot of like shows because she was just really busy with like work and school and like stressed out and this, this whole other mode,
overwhelmed.
Like we really didn't become like friends and really get along until I was like older or whatever. But a couple years ago we went I forget which beach we were at. I think it was like Holden Beach or in North Carolina or something like that. And I just put on King of the Hill.
Yeah.
And I just put it on, and like the people at this beach trip are like my mom, my stepdad, my two sisters, my brother-in-law, my niece, my grandma, just kind of family in and out. People are kind of doing their own thing, whatever.
Right.
But I put on King of the Hill, and then like my mom eventually sits down and watches, like, oh, what's this? Oh, okay. Da-da-da. Oh, that's kind of funny. She'd never really seen it before, but she really liked it. She really liked Bobby. So then fast forward, that was in 2024. End of 2024, me and my girlfriend at the time break up. I moved back in with my parents for a little bit last year, 2025. And then it became like a thing with like me and my mom sometimes like throughout the week would like watch an episode of King of the Hill like before like we went to bed. And she'd be like, you want to watch an episode of Bobby?
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I was like, that's so wholesome, dude. It's like she loves Bobby. She's like, hey, Dad. Like, she'd always do the voice and stuff. Like,
she could be a voice actor, dude. She did some really cool voices when I was around, at least the one. She did a good, Herbert the Pervert?
Oh, yeah, from Family. Whenever I went and saw my parents for my birthday, I pulled up some of those old scenes with Herbert, and, like, we laugh at the voice, and then we were seeing, like, how he is, and we were like, all right, let's just...
This is crazy. Yeah, this is hard to watch.
Yeah. It's just kind of the voice of like, they're like, hey, son, what you doing?
With the whistle on the S's. Like, that's what I could never get right, but it's so funny. It reminds me of, is that Gopher in Winnie the Pooh?
Yes. Yeah. There's several characters like that. And then I scrolled upon this dude on Instagram Reels where he's like doing food reviews. He's like, look at this big ass Chipotle burrito. It's like, it's got cheese and it's got some lettuce and avocado. It's so fucking good. And it's like the full on whistle.
It's so funny.
Sometimes I'll do it accidentally because I've done it so many times. I'll just, do it with a it's gonna be fun to whenever I'm old, dude, and my teeth move again because I like didn't wear my retainer the way I was supposed to. Because my teeth have always been like crooked, and then I wore braces twice, had a retainer, but still my teeth grew back. They all fucking shifted still. But like I can just, I think I can do it easier because I can like make a certain shape with my, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, but anyway, I love, King of the Hill, voice acting, good vibes. That's always been a thing. Like we've done like little funny voices like that. So I think if a character in a show has a voice you can kind of do a little vocal stem to, like that'll just kind of get carried around. But it has been satisfying, been like, here, you enjoy this thing on your own now. It's not just like, hey mom, you want to watch Star Wars? Oh yeah, this is kind of cool. You know what I mean? Or something kind of outland, or pick some fantasy movie or something kind of outlandish that's like, here, watch this movie with me. Oh, that was cool, right? Yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
but something that you can both appreciate to the same extent. Like that's like a bonding moment.
Yeah, something you introduce, like any sort of thing. I mean, even like you introducing, heavier, like August Burns Red and stuff like that to me, fucking 16 years ago in our friendship. And then now I'm like showing you band. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like, oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, Dragon's really into this whole screamo stuff. Yeah, cool, man. I'll listen to your. It wasn't just like it is, or like, Magic the Gathering, any sort of hobby where it's like, dude, you might like this kind of thing. Or I showed you fucking, I think you should leave, and now you like it more than I do.
Oh, my wife and I this morning were talking about getting tattoos of I think
Yeah,
you should
like that's
leave.
awesome.
Like it's great. Well, see, and like
That's amazing.
And I know you will agree with me on this. Showing somebody something that you think they'll like, and them not only being like, "Oh yeah, that's cool," but actually taking it away and then being like, "Now this is a band that I love. Now this is a game that I love. Now this is a movie that I love. Thank you for showing me this." It goes deeper than just like, "Here, now you have something cool." It's like, I thought this was cool. It made me think of you. I wanted to show it to you. Now you think it's cool. Now we understand each other in a deeper level. And I think that's the biggest dopamine hit. I think it generates oxytocin and creates that bonding chemical. Dude.
And one of my biggest like love languages in any sort of any friendship, relationship, whatever, any just interpersonal action would be quality time. So any sort of shared, like, especially if it's like a movie or something that's like, this means a lot to me, or this got me through this or whatever, and you show it to someone that you also care about, and then they're like, whoa, this is sick. Like, dude, last year, I know you'll appreciate this. Last year, whenever, for the listeners that don't know about Nolan's personal life, I was, I call it my, like, I never got married, but it's like my, like, divorced dad, like, the divorce is over. I'm gonna go live with my parents a little bit, and then couch hop a little bit, but I'm experienced now. I'm not like, I was an experienced homeless person at that point. I wasn't like it's not my first rodeo.
Yeah, me and Corbin always called that relationship the big one. Like that was your big one, as far as that's what you're talking about, right? Like where you were
with my ex and everything.
Yeah.
It was, for sure. It was my first, like, this is what the real world looks like. Like, obviously it's not like, oh, well, hope you enjoyed that. That's never going to happen again. It's just like, hey, this is what, love and loss looks like, or whatever.
Your committed relationship. Yeah.
Sure. But so last year, like, we broke up, and then I moved back in with my parents, and then kind of scrambled a while, just kind of went through just like a little post quarter life crisis, whatever, turning 31 crisis or whatever. I'm 32 now, but long story short, had like lived with them for a little bit, and then moved out of state for a job for a little bit, and then moved around. Ended up in Atlanta for a couple weeks with my buddy Scott, and I got to show him Tombstone.
Dude.
And that was like, I was like, yes, this is the great, because he was like, oh, what's this? And like watching him, like, slowly get into it. And then I forget which scene it was. He turned to me and he was like, this is the hardest shit I've ever seen.
Bro,
and I was like, yes,
bro, yes.
Like, he thought, when we first watched it, he thought Val Kilmer's character, Doc, was going to be like a villain. And then he was like, oh, that dude's like part of their squad. And like after, once Wyatt kind of decides, he's like, I'm going to kill these fucking cowboy motherfuckers that kill my brothers, like that kind of shit, or, fucked with us kind of thing. Once that kind of shifted, he was like, oh shit, this movie is like it was just so satisfying. You know what I mean? Like, I know Tombstone specifically, you know what I mean?
Oh, dude,
like,
Wyatt Earp is my friend. Dude.
Yeah, and he's like, I got plenty of friends. Well, I don't. I'm like,
bro,
he loves it so much.
Best role Val Kilmer has ever played. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, oh my God, Scott turning to me and just being like, this is the hardest shit I've ever seen. I was like, yes, dude. I think it was after the Hell's Coming With Me thing.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, dude, that's my favorite character. You're talking about Doc. He was, whenever he did the, I have two guns, one for each of you. Scott was like, dude, he like fucking was like clapping. He was like, no fucking way. Like, that dude's so slick. Like, dude. It was just the greatest like commentary. I was like, I'm so glad I get to show this to you. Like, this is so sick. And I was gonna show him another movie, but we didn't have time, because I only crashed at his place for like a week, like right before like Thanksgiving. Yeah. And then the end of last year, I kind of scrambled around, was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. And then the guitarist in Winterwell / one of my best friends, Jeffy, had a spot open up in his place, and I've been here ever since. And then
shout outs, baby. How's it going, Jeffy?
Yeah, how's it going, baby? And then we've got our own plans to relocate, toward the end of this year, kind of vibes, and we'll keep it going. But it does feel good to have like my own kind of space again. That's not just like, oh, I'm not just kind of mooching off of someone or just crashing with someone, even if I am like paying them rent or whatever like that. Like it feels good to be like, oh, nobody really cares what I'm doing. And also from a kind of like sensory perspective too, like Jeffy is one of my best friends in the world, and like we get along great as roommates. But then also there's these times where like as a living he tours, so he'll be gone. He left yesterday and he's gonna be gone till like August.
Oh,
so then there's times where I'm like, it doesn't matter who it is, it could be him, it could be anyone, best friend, just a roommate, casual. There's times where I'm like, oh shit, I get the whole house to myself. I can sit here and just like monologue and get my feelings out, and nobody's gonna be like, hey man, are you okay? You know what I mean? Like, I can make weird noises and stem out and do whatever. Like, obviously the joke is like, oh, you can like jerk off whenever. It's like, dude, I'm way ahead of you.
Two things can be true at the same time,
two
dude.
things can be true at the same time. Yeah, exactly. But like the main thing is just being able to just like make noise. Like, not that anyone cares regardless. Like, no one's going to tell me to stop. It's just the nobody in the world, even if they're my best friend or just a casual roommate or a girlfriend that I'm living or whoever, parent, whoever, it's just like house to myself. I personally get my feelings out by talking, like everything. That's why it's like, I think, let me figure this out. Everything that I say is not necessarily like the truth. It's just, I talk through things.
Yeah.
Vocally to like think through them. So it sucks sometimes whenever there's people around that are like, whoa, is that what you think? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm getting my stream of consciousness.
It's processing. You're processing things.
I guess it's just relieving sometimes. And then there is other times where I'm like, damn, I wish somebody was here, like to talk to, whatever. You know, obviously it ebbs and flows.
Right.
I'm definitely more of an extrovert than I am an introvert, but I do have introvert tendencies where I'm like, I need to like be a robot and like power down and do my like, okay, take my shower. Okay, got my headphones, doing this, got my laundry. You know what I mean? Like just whatever little self rituals or whatever. But the monologuing thing is key, man. Like I don't care who they are, even if it's somebody that knows me super personally. Like if they're gone for a day, a week, whatever, I'm just like, I'll sit in this room right here and do, have a podcast to myself where I'm just thinking through shit, because I've had a crazy life. So I'm just like, all right,
let's get into this.
What is real? What's worth my emotion? You know what I mean? Like what's worth, because I know you and I, this might be a good segue in, because you and I were both talking about just having like individual like weird weeks and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's been rough.
So like it's good to talk to people, and then it's also good to like, you don't want to isolate. I don't want to make make it sound like I'm advocating for like isolating yourself.
Right. No.
But just like
balance.
Needing, balance. Balance is key, man. You need to be around people, but then you also need those times where you're either in your car or in your house alone, and you can just get it out, whether it's, or it could be happy. It could be, yes, I'm so excited about, and no one's, hey, can you keep
just
it down?
Just to exist without any anxiety about anybody seeing you or judging you.
Yeah. And again, nobody, like Jeffy could be here. Anyone could be here. And I'd be like, oh, I'm so excited about that.
Sure.
And, it's whatever, but it's just the fact of like being able to pace around and just, it's like an internal thing. It's like I flipped from just like, I'm not prepared for any social interaction. I'm only just like, all right, boy, I'm like SpongeBob where he's in his own head, like with the papers, like what's his name? Like we're not even real. We're just a figment of your imagination kind of thing. Like, it's just all these different characters or whatever, all the different shit. And it's just like, it sounds crazy, but it's just like, who cares? It's that mode where it's just like, I don't care what sounds crazy. I'm just figuring stuff out,
Right. Right. Well, you brought up a point that really that gave me what feels like some sort of moment of clarity. But take for example, reading. I've always been a little bit self-conscious about my like reading speed, or the fact that I'll get mixed up with my lines sometimes and stuff like that, and get like maybe convince myself that I'm not as good at it as I actually am. And then I was
which is weird because you are one of the faster readers.
I'm just hard on myself. I'm hard on myself about everything.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
That one we can fix. I'm working on the psychology degree, brother. So
yeah, man, I'm still in therapy. So
well, good. We all should be.
But I was reading one of my textbooks for class, and this was like maybe a month and a half ago. And right on the front page, it talks about how like make sure like how to use this book effectively. is like Trail Guide to the Body or whatever. And it says on the first page, like, make sure to read this when you're studying out loud to yourself, because if you read out loud, the retention rate is higher. And I was like, I've always read in my head. So maybe that's where I've been messing up.Maybe I should have been reading out loud to help with my own like knowledge retention, or like
mouth it or something.
Yeah. Right. But like hearing it audibly, like hearing it, it just makes me think that like what you're referring to of being able to like talk this out loud. Maybe if you keep it in your head and you just think it, it never actually like sinks in. But because you're putting utterance to it and you're hearing it too, it's helping you process better.
Yeah. And also for this past January of this year, I started back school essentially full time for the first time in several years. And not just doing it kind of just like, I don't know what I'm, maybe I'll take this class or this class. Like I'm pretty locked in, and the finish line is kind of like in sight. And I told myself that I was going to finish the spring semester. Once I realized that I could, I was like, I think I can finish with all A's, like taking full-time stuff. And I was taking, like physics, stuff like that. I was like, I think I can finish with all A's. So then like what I did is, long story short, I had got a journal. And I'd never been one to journal or anything or like keep a whatever, but I started just kind of just not doing it really every day, but just kind of whenever it meant something. Like I would just write out little stuff like I am, capable, or I am, little like mantras or whatever. But I would say them out loud. I would write like my birth date, like 613, which is June 13th, my birthday. I would write like 613. I not just like I am enough, but just like I am everything. I am knowledge itself. I am blah 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 blah. So like once I was like, I will make straight A's. I will make straight A's. And then I just kept saying that to myself, and then it happened. So it's like, okay, you don't realize how powerful your own voice is to yourself. So if you're like by yourself, oh, man, I'm such a fucking loser. Da, 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 da. If you're saying that to yourself, you know what I mean? It's like two people. It's like you're saying it to another person almost. It's like,
it's that Bruce Lee thing. Where he's like, you got to be aware of what you're saying to yourself, because your body doesn't know the difference, and then like that's energy that'll feed into you.
Exactly. That's totally. And Bruce Lee also, shout out Mr. Mike, Nikki's dad. Who Nikki, we're gonna have him have them on the podcast, like Nikki and Mr. Mike maybe on the podcast.
Yo, that would be so sick.
That'd be crazy. I would love to have Mr. Mike on here, but Mr. Mike is Nikki's dad. Nikki plays drums in Winterwell. We'll have her on the podcast at some point. But anyway, Mr. Mike told me a few years ago about Be Like Water, the Bruce Lee thing and everything. So which is kind of just like, it's adaptable, but also it's the strongest force in the world, so it's just all these little different metaphors of like being like water and stuff like that. And there's all these different things over the years, self-help books, different little mantras, different stuff like that, different catchphrases and stuff like that that I've read over the years. And some used to make sense, some make more sense now. Like a lot of stuff I used to shrug off now makes a lot more sense. And I'm like, oh, duh. It's like so simple, but so profound. Like a lot of the more like Buddhist philosophy stuff mixed with a lot of the Egyptian kind of views on things, where it's just kind of it's just interpreting a lot of like education kind of outside of just the window that I was kind of born into, which I know we talked about a little bit on the podcast, where it's just like we were born in the Southeast US, heavily conservative, heavily religious, but not just religious. It's like Protestant, Christian, there's a billion different denominations out there, but this one is the right one. And if you so much as question it, then it's bad. You know what I mean? Not that's just pretty much like the culture we were raised in, essentially. It's just like, so if you talked about like, maybe Buddhism or Hinduism or so, oh, that's demonic. It's like, whoa,
question
like,
nothing.
Wasn't that here first? And then now I'm taking history and I'm like, that was here first, you dick. Like, what do you mean? So I'm just like, I just taken in like different elements of different things. Because a lot of what we were taught growing up was that it's just like, I am unworthy. Like, it's like, I am so unworthy and I need to pray to God, deity, to give me worth because I'm a piece of shit. So it's just like, no, I'm not a piece of shit. Well, I'm alive. Like, I'm creative. Like, like there's an old line by Silent Planet a long time ago that's like, we were made to create, I think was the line. And it's just like, oh yeah, you create something So it can create kind of, it's like you extract the poeticness of it. You don't just take into like, this angry Southern guy is telling me that God's going to send me to hell for doing XYZ or because I don't give him money every week or whatever. It's like when you break it all down, all these religions just come down to like, okay, just fucking like, you know, be easy on yourself, man. You know, like it's like that kind of stuff. It's like just, you know, try to be nice to people.
Dude abides.
The dude abides, all that kind of stuff.
Just flow with it, man. Just flow with it.
It just brings it back to like, I'm not a piece of shit. Like I'm like, I started like stuff that might sound like sacrilegious to stuff that we growing up where we used to be like, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. I started writing in the journal where it's like, my will be done. And it's like, whoa, dude. Oh shit, man. Are you fucking? And I'm like, I'm just saying like, no, I am autonomous. Yeah. I'm not some like growing up and having, you know, all the stuff I told you about like on the phone the other day and just like all this bull crap just happened. Just all this stuff, just feeling gaslit your whole life and all this stuff. It's like at 32, I'm essentially like, no, man, I'm gonna do what I want. Like not in like a hedonistic, like YOLO, I'm going to go, you know, waste my life kind of thing and fuck it. You only live once. Not that kind of thing. It's just like, no, if I want to do something, I would like to go do it. And it's like, I'm not going to feel guilty if it's something, especially for like, essential things.
Yeah.
Self-development, education. You're becoming
big time.
Yeah. Interloper by Winterwell out now.
Let's go. Yeah. But it's funny.
Out now on Rise Records.
You talk about doing some things like what you're talking about with like what you're writing in a journal. You know, and we talked about how this past week just fucking sucked, dude. It was a really weird, like kind of just triggering week all the way around. And it was funny because I had to take my son to the orthodontist on Thursday. And while he was getting worked on, I walked up to get a soda for him. The only place I was close by was like a head shop. But I walked in and I got a Dr. Pepper for him and I was standing in line. And then I looked to my right and there was a box of like bundles of sage. And there was something in me. Like it was so weird. I just felt like this pull, like I should grab one and buy it. And take it home and burn it. Like, you know what people say about burning sage, it cleanses the energy. It removes negativity, but I didn't do it. You know, I brought my son a soda, I brought him home and I was talking, you know, I think it was Friday. I mentioned to my wife, I was like, hey, you know, we've had a really, really crap week, both of us. And, you know, also like had some strife between the two of us. I was like, I felt this weird pull that like I should have bought some sage yesterday. How would you feel if I ever like got sage for us to burn? She was like, oh my God, yes, we should totally do that. So then we went out that evening when we picked up dinner and I stopped in somewhere and got a bundle of sage. So we came home and lit it and kind of just walked through the house and wafted it into the corners and like, you know, we like prayed while we were doing it because like I think
it's synonymous, dude.
It's about what you make of it. It's like if you want to make it evilly intentioned, then you can, but it's about your intention and what you're coming at from your heart.
The only reason there's even the like, oh, watch out, it's evil, is because throughout history, a bunch of greedy people restructured it in a way where it's like, if it's not this way and you're not giving us money, then it's demonic. And it's a fear tactic. When in reality, dude, if you're not like actively being malicious, burn all the sage, burn all the candles, do all the protection spells you want, because it's positive. You know what I mean? Who gives a shit?
The Bible says, according to your faith, be it unto you. Like it's about what you believing. And if you're like, if you're coming into this, it's energy projection. Yeah. You're projecting positive energy because your intention is pure, I think.
Yeah. And even beyond, like, again, like I'm doing things that previous me would have been like, oh, but like, I'm like, I don't really care about the Bible.
Yeah, like, I think there's truth to it in some ways, but again, it wasn't
written by God, dude. It was written by people. Like it wasn't written. There's something I'm learning in history too, where it's like there's stuff that was written in the times where it's like this is a primary source, and then a secondary source was like written afterwards. So a lot of those books were written like about the person, and they're like, yeah, they think like Paul said this, and this person said this, and da da da, and like we could spend hours on that kind of stuff, but like basically it like just taking into account, like there's like not doing the cherry picking thing. Cause a lot of people like to cherry pick and be like, use it as a weapon, which is so stupid. They're like, God hates gay people or God hates this people, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, not, like, what God are you talking about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a million different debates and all that different crap, but like, I'm just like, why is this the ultimate sort? Like, this thing says that it's right. That's like if I read Lord of the Rings and Lord of the Rings was like, this is true, by the way, and I'd be like, it's true because it says it's true. You know what I mean? Like, that's like
It's
the
like the beginning
important
of a
stuff.
horror movie. This is based on real events. Like, yeah, you can put that in front of anything just to make it
But what
scarier.
But the point I'm trying to make is not just like, the Bible's fake, God's not real. I'm not trying to do all that. I'm just trying to say, like, and you know all this, but like, for the, the people out there, even just ourselves, or even just what I'm talking about, just thinking things through, talking them out loud, is just like, there's good and bad in every organized, structured, like, religion, because throughout history, people in power have used it as to, like, scare people into, giving them money or
Control.
following a certain thing. But at the same time, there's different, like, pure, like, poetic aspects that like the original writers were trying to, like, interpret and stuff like that are pretty beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
the first time maybe someone looked at, like, a really pretty mountain and tried to write, like, this is so pretty, it must be whatever my language is, the word for sun. Okay, that's the word for sun. Let's say Helios, right? That's like Greek. Helios. Okay, so then that turns into blah, blah, blah. Okay, now fast forward thousands of years. Okay, now there's these other languages. This means this. This means this. Well, that comes from the root word this, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, now you read it all, and like, I'm supposed to be told that, like, my church in the middle of BFE, North Carolina, is the only one that's right.
Yeah.
Out of every other, you know what I mean? Like, when you all break it down. So I'm just like, all that matters, dude, is just being respectful and just, like, being,
I say intentional.
like, being intentional, and just being, like, I don't want to say just being nice and kind and stuff like that, but like little stuff like holding the door open for people, or just like, hey, how are you doing? Okay, whatever. And not taking things personally. There's this book that I saw recently called The Four Agreements.
Mm-hmm.
I have it actually with me in front of me, but it's basically, I think the four agreements are like, don't take anything personally. Let me look at the contents real quick. I could just Google it, but yeah, don't take anything personally, be impeccable with your word, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. And it sounds like little, I might have heard that when I was younger and been like, okay, always do your best. What is, okay, it's cliche, but it means basically, it's like, always do your best. Your best is going to change, like, constantly. Like, do your best, like, best that you can do today, right? Like, maybe if the best you can do today is, well, I, did this thing, did that chore, and I was going to release this, amount of videos, but at least I posted one. That's the best I can do today, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Don't make assumptions. Oh, that person didn't text me back. They must be mad at me, right? That's the easiest way. Don't make they're busy, man. Assume that people are just busy, not assume maliciousness. Like, it's easier to, like, assume they're busy. Don't take anything personally. Guy cuts you off. Fuck you, asshole. That dude's just in a hurry. I'm in a hurry too. That is the hardest one for me, because when I get behind the wheel of a car, dude, and people are, like, acting like idiots, I lose all, like, it's like every like vocab or every smart thought just exit, and I'm just like, fuck everybody. You fucking piece of shit. Like, I just rage. So, like, that one's really hard for me. And then be impeccable with your word. That one's integrity. So I think at the end of the day, because, like, even in the Bible, if you want to look at it like that, or throughout history books, Jesus Christ as a person was always referred to, even outside of, the Bible or anything, just in history books, is like, this guy is this dude that really stood up to, like, the man.
Anti-establishment.
And was like, you guys need to quit, fucking around, and you guys need to care more about poor people, and you need to quit being so fucking greedy. Like, he was, that's probably, like, it sounds, again, people, Jesus probably didn't cuss, but, like, you think he wasn't cussing when he was, like, turning over tables and shit, like, what the fuck are you fucking idiots doing, you motherfuckers? Like, in whatever that language, he was probably just yelling, like he's mad, like, it wasn't some polite, like, what would Jesus do? Jesus loves the little children, Jesus. No, he was probably like, yo, like, what are you doing? So he's a great, like, character to base things off of. Like, he's also the same character as, like, Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. It's the same fucking character, dude.
Sage archetype.
sage archetype, but also like self-sacrifice. And then when they come back, they're like so fucking powerful. You know what I mean? Like they die so that everyone else can live. You know what I mean? So like there's good like poetic things you can extract instead of just like the Bible says that one day I will everything will be okay when I die. Like what?
Yeah.
No. Like no, dude. Like we're here now. Like you said, you know, like things will be okay. And like I don't know. There's just so many things that like we were taught that are just like bad for our mental health as kids, man. Like just like putting the fear, you know, literally putting the fear of God, like, you know, what we'd said before is like a metaphor, but like telling a kid that they're gonna, you know, burn forever.
Yeah.
Like that'll do stuff to you whenever you grow up. Why do you think like a lot of us have anxiety and stuff, dude? Like a lot of people that like used to be in the evangelical stuff, and it sucks because like a lot of those times it's like you look up to like a lot of idols and stuff like that. Like this dude's the man, and then it like gets shattered and it kind of rocks your whole world, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Maddie Montgomery and like some of these other people where it's just like, damn, I kind of can't take you seriously now. Like I'm past a lot of the trauma stuff at this point.
Yeah.
And again, that's like another thing where like the listener, I don't have, I apologize that I don't have like a linear storytelling thing. So I know that like a few people are probably, if you are curious, like if we have some subscribers out there that want me to expand on that, I definitely can. You know, we can share both of those things, but like it is kind of non-linear. I know, kind of out of context, like, but you know, you know everything.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But there's different like points in your life that is just like stuff changes, man. Like,
sure,
I'm not the same. Like, dude, looking back on old recordings of myself from long ago, I'm just like, is that how I talked? That's how I said. That's what I said in that. What?
Yeah.
Ew. What? Like whenever you had sent me the stuff from our Shitty and Sandals, our City in Shambles, which was my band in high school.
By the way, I got all of the GameStop footage. By the way, I got it all back. I'm super.
Are you serious,
dude? I got all of it.
Okay.
I got all of it.
Put a pin in that real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, but I have another point to come back to too. So go ahead.
The OCIS stuff. Again, cringy band, high school, whatever. Blah blah blah.
Blunder years.
I saw a thing where it was like, I was like, Dragon's gonna play bass, but Logic says otherwise, and I was like, why the fuck did I say that? I don't talk like that. Fuck, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't say that.
Dude, it was so great.
And then, just seeing like hear my voice in the background and stuff, and my voice was like, I'm like a 17-year-old, so I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like higher and just. You know, the quality of it's like 2011 or some shit too.
Oh yeah, my voice was so much more higher pitched. I was like, that's what I sounded like. That's scary.
And I'm like, dude, we were fucking like not each other, but we were like we were banging. We were getting it back then. Like
hard
girls wanted to get with that. Like my fucking little Justin Bieber ass hair, and I'm like, edgelord. Like what?
I thought it was funny.
Like I hear myself, but it's just, you know, it's everyone has that thing where you hear your voice and you're like,
cringe.
What the fuck? But anyway, the point being, I can't believe we just segued. Feel free to cut everything I just said about religion out of here because you just said, okay, so you just said the thing about the GameStop footage. And for ladies and gentlemen, the GameStop footage, Dragon and I's very, 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 very first band.
This is our first live show of our very first band.
Played a show outside of a strip mall in our hometown, in front of a Walmart, GameStop kind of strip mall area for the release of Call of Duty Black Ops. I think it was Black Ops 2, or was it the first one?
It was Black Ops 1.
It was the OG Black Ops. It was 2010. And we played there because our bass player, Thunder, who we will have him on the podcast, please, at some point. He
worked part-time there, didn't he?
He worked part-time at GameStop, and it was like, and the manager was like, "Oh, dude,
his name was Brent. I think he and I are still friends on Facebook. That's weird.
Your band should play the release or whatever." Probably thinking we were like Yeah, we're a band and we kind of play rock and roll. Yeah, we're a band and we play rock and roll like a city baby. All right. Thank you guys for coming out to the Call of Duty Black Ops. That's right. They probably thought it was going to be some shit like that. Or like, I'm just a normal boy who sank when I fell overboard or sank into the ocean. Like some Blue October shit. I don't know what they expected. Or maybe even some punk band. Maybe
it wasn't
some,
what
like,
they got. I that much.
Maybe some of that. They had no idea that we were going to be playing metalcore through busted ass speakers that we brought that would have like water damage.
And we'd practice 6 times.
One original song that's like half with like no lyrics. It's just me talking. Like, and then just no, like virtually no singing, but like really bad. That's 2026 Nolan as a joke, but back all from the throat, that kind of screaming. The only singing you're getting is me, who at the time, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, all squeaky and shit. But there's like fucking 300 people outside waiting in line.
And the whole thing was recorded on a flip cam, and there's footage of my dad going up to random people in the crowd and walking up to them and putting the camera in their face, going, "I'm with Channel 12 News. What do you think of the band?"
Do you remember the pizzas too?
No.
Okay, we had ordered pizzas from this place called Dragon's Pizza, which is funny enough called Dragon's Pizza.
Oh my God, I forgot about Dragon's Pizza.
And they dropped off the pizza, and I forget, I think like no one paid for it or something like that, or it did get paid, I forget, but they dropped it off, and then your older brother was like, "I'm gonna resell the slices of pizza," and he was like, $5 a slice. And he didn't actually sell any. But or maybe he did, I don't know. But just him going $5 a slice is stuck in my head forever.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my
dude.
God, I love that so much.
Oh yeah.
I'm so glad you found that footage. Dude.
Yeah, I've got it
Feel
all
free,
back.
If I brought the vibes down with my bullshit.
No, dude, we're good. I think all this
feel
is
free
great.
to cut it out.
Nope,
But
we're gonna keep running with it.
Dude. So our first band too was like a Christian like ministry band. We were like, which was very popular around then. Like there was a lot of bands like For Today and some other band and like Impending Doom and like a lot of bands like that, where it's like really heavy, but then it's like we're positive message. We're here for Jesus. La 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 la. That was like what we were into at the time, and that's just like what we thought was like the way, right? We're only here because of Jesus. We're not here for. It's like, dude, we're 16. We're here because we want to look cool. Like we're, you know what I mean? Like we're 16.
But this is also what our parents raised us to do. Like everything has to be based in this.
And it was a good excuse for our parents because we were like, "Hey, mom, I'm going to a concert. Oh, it's at a church."
Yeah. Easy.
So it doesn't matter. So you could go see, the heaviest band in the world and get in a pit or whatever. Like some of the heaviest shit ever. Not just like, "We love Jesus. Yes, we do. We love Jesus. How about you?"
Heavy as shit, dude. I love them.
Yeah. So you'd see that kind of stuff, but like we were in that scene where, and I've talked about this on other podcasts. Like you'd play some venues that are like only Christian bands can play here, and you have to give a 10-minute speech about your relationship with Jesus. And then you could also play shows at like a club as the Christian band that would get made fun of. Or sometimes nobody would care. Sometimes people would make fun of you, but sometimes people wouldn't care. But you would kind of be like, you would justify it to people at your church being like, "Well, we're out there in the trenches, like ministering to the sinners." And that's actually like pretty pure and wholesome because we actually came from a right place. Like, because I've met a lot of people, even at the time, if I was like a Jesus freak and like still trying to be like, "This person's not a believer yet, but they will be one day if they're friends with me." Like that kind of like missionary relationship kind of bullshit. Regardless of that, even though my intentions might have been like, "Oh, I'm, trying to minister," but I'm also a 16-year-old kid experiencing, life and social life. I have met some of the nicest fucking people in the world that are not religious affiliated at all through music, dude. I have met some of the nicest people in the fucking world that are just good human beings. And it's like, oh yeah, because we're both here for the same reasons. We feel a need to this like raw emotion to like get it out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's this like outcasty, like, you know, like kind of like the same reason why people like might like card games. It's like we're nerds, but in a pod, we're fucking cool as shit. You
Yeah,
know
we're
what I
having
mean?
fun.
Yeah. So it's just like it's a way to kind of feel belonging. But I'm you know obviously met some douchebags too in any scene. But I've met some of the nicest people in the world through music, religious, non-religious, whatever. Just through through that common like literally standing next to somebody while a band's playing and you're both singing the same words and you just grab them and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, you know, like
Universal language, man. It's huge.
yeah, it's awesome. So I cannot, dude, I gotta see that footage. When we're done with this, you gotta send me, or we gotta something.
I was gonna cut it all together and then put it up on YouTube unlisted on one of my
God.
personal accounts. No, unlisted, so it can't be found.
Okay.
So I can send you the link and I could send it to some of the others. I'm sure Thunder would appreciate having that. One thing I do want to bring up because it kind of stuck with me is like that show we played was terrible and we got made fun of so bad for it.
Yeah, because we were also like trying to hand out like pamphlets about like Jesus and stuff. It was comic book.
My dad wrote a comic book that like he's very proud of it. It's really good. I think for what he made, it's really incredible. And so we were trying to do the thing which was like street evangelism, but we were very inexperienced, and I grew up watching my dad do it.
We're also overwhelmed with emotion of like, oh my God, show. Dude, we're playing like fucking,
my math teacher was there. Like a couple of our teachers showed up to watch us do this, and so
a bunch of people from school, like super small town, but like everybody was there in our town essentially.
And then we got blasted online for it, and it was really painful emotionally. Like it was really hard to kind of cope with, especially for me. I took it really personally.
Yeah, that's probably a reason why, and that or not a reason, not the reason, but definitely a contributor to the kind of like life anxiety or paranoia where it's like, wow, that was really cool. And then, and this is the day like social media was barely a thing. Basically, we had hopped online and somebody had like taken like our band picture or something and like a picture of like Jesus on the cross and made like a really like crude kind of like
a lot of gay porn stuff.
A lot of like really,
it was bad.
It was a lot of like weird, like, and they posted it on our page from like an anonymous account and like, but they posted on our page and it was back in the day where like, people could see like so-and-so post on your page, people get like an update or whatever. Yeah. So like a lot of our friends and parents saw it and like, it's just some edgelord stuff. So like we got really paranoid about that. And then we changed our name to something else, which sounded, we're not going to say the name of it, but it was bad. It sounded like something cool for Christianity,
but an innuendo ate it up.
But it sounded like an innuendo also. And so that got a lot of crap too. So like we went through this period of like, wow, not only do we suck, but also we're getting made fun of. So we went through this whole thing of like, we're being persecuted. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's the moment that happened. I was like, I'm never doing that again. That sucks.
Yeah. It makes you never want to do stuff. It's like it's the equivalent of walking out, and getting booed off stage. And you're like, well, I never want to do that again. Or like I drove a car and I got in a car crash. Well, I never want to do that again. You know what I mean? It's like, it's protective kind of thing. It's your brain trying to protect you from like being embarrassed or whatever. So then later on, we did that show. We did a couple more shows as that band, and then we rebranded, and then I eventually got kicked out because I was bad. Like I just wasn't. I had no value. And then like y'all restructured into another band, and then I joined Our City in Shambles.
Lost members, things changed. Well, the thing,
we just kind of moved around. I don't want to give the whole timeline, but essentially like I did that band, and then I kept trying to do the whole like, hey, we should open for these guys, blah, blah, blah. And like, okay, we want to do it. But like, they just didn't ever really want to like work hard at the aspect. They just wanted to like be lazy and just kind of go through the motions and stuff like that. Eventually our individual bands broke up. And then right as I was getting out of high school is when me and Dragon's first like real band, we don't have any music up or anything, but like, we were still in that like, oh, we're Christcore band kind of thing, but we were actually like, oh, we're a little bit more like we're better now.
We're more well versed in it. We practiced, just a number of years had passed.
Yeah, and then we started like
taking
playing
it seriously.
Yeah, we started playing a lot more shows and yada yada yada, and had our own history from there. But anyway, like there's a lot of growth. But you look back on stuff, and there's certain stuff that I look back on, and I'm like, oh, I want to see all of this for the nostalgia. And then there's some stuff
hard to watch.
oh God, I don't want to watch this because fuck those motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Holding a grudge or whatever. Like they fucking, did this thing or whatever. But at the same time, it is still to find the archives. Like specifically the GameStop show that we were talking about. We have been talking about that footage for years, and anytime it's been brought up, it's like, oh man, like I don't know, it's on this hard drive that got corrupted, or it's lost in the ether
I got
somewhere.
it.
So
I dug
to
it
hear
out.
that, dude, oh my God.
Yeah, dude, it's exciting. Then I also found the first Mana show.
No
yep.
fucking way,
yeah,
dude.
This song is called Cinema Eyes, baby. I got it. I haven't told Corbin yet, but I'm going to.
Cinema Eyes.
But the reason I bring up the GameStop show again, though, is because we got ridiculed. Like it was like hardcore pornography all over Facebook. We could have gotten in a lot of trouble. And they posted like 50 times. Like you had to go through and delete it one by one, and Nolan did all that. So good for you. Thanks for taking one for the team.
My eyes have seen.
Yeah, I was so upset as a 9th grader, having never really experienced bullying like that. It was nuts.
And that was the first like cyber bullying too, because again, early social media, like we're not even using mobile yet. We're still on laptops.
Yeah. And like cell phones, and my cell phone didn't have access to it. Like it was crazy. But the reason I bring this up too is that like I got put into a place of like, well, I'm never going to do that again. I don't know if I even want to play music ever again. Maybe I need to like back away from this completely. Like it hurt me to my core. But this was also, and I don't know if you remember this, but I remember this, is that this is also the time that FormSpring was a thing. And
and FormSpring was one of the first anonymous like ask you questions and then I'll answer them and then they get posted to my profile, but I don't know who's asking me questions kind of thing. So people would ask like edgy shit.
Right. But
it'd be like, you're stupid or whatever.
Say horrible things and then they could get away with it. But it was a couple days after that GameStop show, and I was like just really down in the dumps about everything. That the FormSpring got checked, and there was somebody who posted in that FormSpring and was like, hey, I was at that GameStop show that you guys played, and I wasn't gonna go. A friend of mine kind of made me go, and I had made up my mind that I was going to kill myself that night. And I came and I saw you guys and heard what you guys were talking about. And I just wanted to say like, thank you. Cause I decided against it when I got home that night. And so, do you remember that?
I don't, because back in that day, man, again, the paranoia, it's hard to decipher what was real and sincere and what was trolling. So I don't remember if I ever processed that one. I don't remember that one really, because there was a lot of stuff where people would say like something nice and then they'd be like, haha, fuck you, I'm just kidding, whatever. There was a lot of that kind of shit throughout like late middle school, early high school. So I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I remember that. That's the one that stuck out to me, because like that was the one that kind of brought me back into like okay, well, if all of this like emotional pain was, like this validated all of that. Like this right here, this one message now validates every bit of that pain, because I see this as worth it. This is totally worth it. And it's what kind of brought me back into this place of like, okay, well, this is just an example of you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea here. Like,
right. But some people love tea. Some people love other flavor. Who gives a shit?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what like,
I don't like matcha. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you got to know what you're about. And I don't like raisins. Raisins are gross.
Cranberries. I love cranberries. But like, shit, there was a point you said. Yeah. So like, you never know the long lasting impact. So there's a dude, I feel bad because I forget his name. I think his first name's Evan, but I don't remember where he's from, but I was friends with him on my old Facebook, and that old Facebook had lasted me from like the beginning of Facebook to like 2020 or something like that, right? So like a good number of years. Had a lot of friends on there where it's like people you met once at like a show, and you know what I mean? Just like a lot of random people. Mm-hmm. But in Heirloom, which was like 2020, this was probably 2021 maybe at this point or something like that. So I guess before I deleted that old Facebook. Anyway, I forget that I was friends with this guy from way back when, in like 2011, when our old bands had played something, and we had played some sort of event. And I forget which band it was. But he had said like the message that we had said, or like the vibe, like, we had, not like, it wasn't like, oh, you guys kept me from killing myself or something like that, like some big thing. It was just kind of like, I remember nothing but positive things. And this was years later, and this guy commented on something when, like, I think it was when Heirloom got, like, to play Blue Ridge or something, like, or got to do something really cool. He commented and was like, dude, I'll never forget it, Burnfest 2011 and, fucking Greensboro or wherever the fuck, Burlington or wherever it might be, you guys said this thing, and he said something like, you never know the long lasting impact you have. I might have the fucking screenshot actually, dude. Hang on. Let me see if I can find this.
Yeah, go for it. It's something that.
Oh yeah, I found it.
Oh,
Holy
let's go.
shit.
Let's go.
I forget what the context was. Hey, buddy. I forget what the context was. But he was like, thanks, man. I remember playing a festival with you guys years ago, and you were someone that made a lasting impression on me for the better. You never know how far your ripples go, my man. You have a gift and experience that will give you wisdom to touch lives in ways that others never could. Thank you for using your gift. And I was like, oh, thanks, man.
That's super cool.
Agrees.
It's those types of comments, man. It's like what you were talking about earlier about, it's like about intentionality. And, I think that, like you said, that the Bible is, take it or leave it, but there is some wisdom to it. There's a lot of wisdom to it if you look at it at the right angle. Cause it goes back to say, like, what the enemy intends for evil, God can use for good. He can use it to glorify his kingdom. He can do it to, he can use bad situations to make, turn them into something good. And even if, like, you like take that as more metaphorical in that same sense, is that it's like, just because you're experiencing bad consequences, like from something that you did, as far as like a leap of faith or putting yourself out there, ultimately there is still good that can and will come of it, or could come of it, that then redeems all of the pain. Because it was like, I got so upset, and I was ninth grade, I didn't know what to do. I called the cops, tried to figure out
cyberbullying, because we're like, I'm being assaulted or whatever.
It was rough,
whatever.
man. It was rough.
We don't know how to react, and like reacting out of fear.
I was like crying. I was
dude.
I'd never felt anything. I've never felt anything like that before.
Because also you're going through, let's say none of that happened at all. You would still be crying because you're going through fucking puberty, dude, and it's fucking hard, and all that other shit is like tough. So you're like, oh my God, like there's so much pressure, and it's just like, I guess, like you taking, I'm gonna fucking bring it back to Batman. God damn it.
Oh, well, we can bring it all the way freaking back to the fact that when we played that show next to the Walmart, that Walmart was open for 24 hours that night.
It was. Yeah, it was. And, we bought a live lobster and an alligator pool in there, and a fucking, and a bicycle and whatever the fuck they used to sell.
Bring it back to Batman.
But bringing it back to Batman, there's a thing in psychology, embracing your shadow. The best thing, the way to defeat the enemy is being like, I'm going to become like that and know everything there is to know, so that I know what to do and what not to do. Like in Batman Begins, where he's like, how do I stop crime? Become a criminal, become a, not like a dangerous criminal, but like learn the thievery kind of lifestyle and everything. Like immerse yourself in your fears is the thing. He went down into the Batcave, which is like in, all these old allegorical stories, is like going into the underworld. Okay. And then Hercules, dude, what Hercules had to do in Disney's fucking Hercules, how he became a god is like, Meg is drowning. Oh my God. How do I save her? By sacrificing myself, by diving into the underworld. Fucking Gandalf did the same thing whenever he battled the
Balrog.
The Lorax. Yeah, the Balrog. The Lorax of the trees. He dies, goes down into the underworld, and emerges as a god. Hercules does the same thing. Jesus Christ does the same thing. He's like, I am taking the world's sins. Okay, Gandalf. All right, you guys go ahead. I'll fight the monster.
Fly, you fools.
And die, so that you guys can keep taking the ring onward. I will sacrifice myself. Holy shit, dude, no, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry, and there's no, like, I'm going to be back or anything like that. It was like, nah, man, I got it. Shit'll be cool. And then he came back, and he can, all of a sudden, Gandalf can start shooting laser beams out of his fucking staff. Like, he's fucking powerful as shit. So there's something into that. Like, you go down in the underworld, you fucking go into Super Saiyan mode, and then you come back, and you're like, I can defeat death, bitch. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's it's in the Bible, it's, you know, Jesus overcame death and overcame sin and overcame all this stuff. Batman overcomes fear. Gandalf overcomes essentially death as well. Like, it's the same kind of thing, you know? Like, there's a lot of shit like that where it's Obi-Wan, dude, when he's fighting Darth Vader, he's like, oh, Luke and Han Solo need to escape. If I let myself die, they can escape. And I remember he's like, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful, whatever.
Than you can possibly imagine.
And he hits him once, and then it's just like his spirit vanishes, but his spirit is there forever to help like Luke out and stuff. So it's like when you voluntarily give yourself up, not just like, I'm giving myself up because I don't want to be here anymore. It's like, you guys go ahead. I'll stop. You know what I mean? It's that kind of, dude, in the you need to watch the first Iron Man. In the very first Iron Man, I'm thinking of these examples just off the top of my head, if you can't tell. But in the very first Iron Man movie, he gets captured by these like terrorists, and they want him to build a missile, and then they'll free him. But you know, they're not gonna they're gonna kill him either way. So he decides with his cellmate, fuck that, I'm gonna build this little prototype for this little suit, and we're getting out of here. We're busting out of here, and we're gonna, you know, get revenge on these motherfuckers, kind of thing, right? Because he finds out that it's his own weapons. So he's like, "Does someone sell my own weapons to these, you know, terrorist militia groups? Like, what the fuck?" So anyway, he breaks out, and as he's like getting the suit, like it's the prototype, like, you know, scrappy, like silver, you know, like garbage looking, like not the red one you see in the, you know, in the movies. Like, it's like the first, like, I built this with scraps, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Tony Stark built this in a cave with scraps, like that kind of shit. So he's getting that shit built from like a crappy little Windows 98 computer. Okay, upload complete, bub. And his cellmate is like, I need to buy us more time. And he tells him beforehand, he's like, I have a family. I'm going to see him whenever we get out of here, blah, 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 blah. And so he realizes that the guys are coming, and, you know, Tony Stark's like in the suit, like, I can't really move. I need to wait for the upload to be complete so I can fucking get this thing moving. So his cellmate, I forget his name off the top of my head, but he was like, I'm going to buy us some time. And he's like, what are you doing, dude? You're going to get yourself killed. He goes out, takes a gun, and he kind of shoots around the cave, kind of to like intimidate the other like terrorists, like pretend like they have a bunch of guns. Yeah. He ends up getting shot, but he bides time for Tony to like break out. And then Tony like goes with me. He's like, come on, man, get up. We got to go. You know, that's the plan. And we got to go see your family. And he's like, my family's dead. I will see them again soon, Stark. And he's like, come on, we got to go. And he's like, well, thanks for saving me. And his cellmate's like, don't waste it. Do not waste your life. And then he dies. And then Tony looks, for the first scene where you see him go from being like spoiled billionaire, bratty, rich boy to being like, oh, fuck you. You just messed with my friend. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing where it's just like the righteous anger of like, okay, this guy sacrificed himself. And then of course, later on in the comics, or in the movies, like Tony Stark eventually sacrifices himself to kill Thanos to protect the entire fucking universe from being destroyed. So, you know what I mean? Like there's elements of self-sacrifice are just so fucking sick, dude. So again, like there's so many pretty parts of like, or gorgeous parts of like religion, mythology and stuff, but then there's also like some controlling stuff too. I don't want that to be like the main takeaway of this episode. I guess it to be like mental health and just like, I don't know what I want it to be honest with you. Again, it's just stream of consciousness.
It could be what it is, man, because like, you start bringing up Gandalf, and like, it's looking at after his self-sacrifice, after he lets himself, you know, do the righteous thing. And then it's that moment that comes to me, that hits me every time I watch the movie, when Gandalf the White first like has his oh shit moment, when he's breaking the curse on Theoden or whatever, and throws Wormtongue out, and like, oh, I get so hyped when that's going on.
Saruman, like poison is drawn from a wound.
God, and he throws the cape off, and he's like glowing, and you're just like, oh shit!
I told you to take the wizard's staff.
You wouldn't take an old man's walking stick. Like,
he's like, gotcha, bitch.
Oh man! And then
you want a goddamn exorcism? Yeah.
Aragorn and the boys are back there subduing the guards, just like in the peripheral.
And then Helm's Deep, that battle that goes on forever, and they're like, we're going to fucking lose. We are overwhelmed. And then finally, when the sun rises, he's like, look to the left or look to the east. And then
the dawn of the third day,
he shows up with him and the entire Rohirrim, and they just fucking destroy everyone. Like, in 30 seconds.
Dude, mow him down.
Sick. Like it's the element of like you're watching this battle and you're like, there are people dying. It is hopeless. Even the king himself is like, what can men do against such defeat? And then Aragorn's like, let's ride out and face them. Like there's so many.
The Night
makes me want to watch that again. Yeah. And then he's like, wait, we're gonna die. Like, because they're talking in Elvish. He's like, Aragorn, then I will die. Wait, we're gonna die. What the fuck?
Shit. I don't know if they were about to die. So
it's these characters that give you hope. You're like,
yeah.
At the beginning of the series, Gandalf was just kind of this like magician doing fireworks, but he's secretly like the most powerful in the world, but he can't carry the ring because he knows he's too powerful. Same with Galadriel. They're like, if I carry the ring, I'll use it to become a god, and I don't want that. So like they know that Frodo, which is a hobbit halfling which can't be detected, has to carry the burden, which is the equivalent of being a child in any religious text. Coming back to like being a child, like having a childlike heart is the key to winning.
Yeah.
Because it's like in Egyptian, it's like talking about like Horus the child, like the ideal is like in like Thelema is to like become eventually like Horus the child. In the Bible, Jesus says like anyone without the heart of a child can't enter the kingdom of heaven. That doesn't mean necessarily when I die, I'm not gonna be able to go to heaven. That just means to enter into paradise on earth, regardless, I have to have the heart of a child, which is liking Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or shows you liked when you were a kid or whatever. That's having the heart of a child. It's also just having an open mind and not being like rigid thinking like, well, this is the way things are. It's like being, you remember when you were a kid and like you'd hear something be like, why is that? What, that's being a kid. So Lord of the Rings is like one of the greatest like allegories of all time. But like there's just so many fucking characters in anything that just give us like, that just make you, that is why you like showing that to somebody.
Yeah.
Like you're like Tombstone. It makes you think of like brotherhood and this and that and whatever. And it's also got these cool lines in it, but also, it's got cool themes, but it's also got just like, man, I want to go gamble and smoke cigarettes. You know what I mean? Like
I want a friend like Doc Holliday.
Yeah, like I want to play cards with the boys and everything. But like, so whenever you show that to somebody, or you show Lord of the Rings, you show whatever your favorite thing is, to somebody, and then you're like, that's why I like it so much. It's not just because it's a cool movie. It's because it means something.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it has like your soul written on it, dude. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, and it's another really interesting perspective to have on like Lord of the Rings and what we were talking about earlier about like your intention like spiritually with things. It's like if you look at like Dungeons and Dragons when it first came out, it was deemed as satanic because there was spells and stuff in it, and they said that's witchcraft, therefore it's of the devil. And then as I got older, because like when I was a kid, I was not allowed to do anything like that. I was allowed to read Harry Potter. I got to the point where I was like, wait, no, it's not. Like, I mean, sure, it's that concept. It's sure, it could be if you want it to be and you put stuff in there to make it that way, then it will be. But it's about the intention of the thing. And it's the same thing as like, oh, well, you can't watch Harry Potter because there's magic in it, and that's witchcraft, which equals the devil. Well, Lord of the Rings has magic in it too.
Right. And some Star Wars has fucking magic.
The Force, absolutely.
The Force is magic.
And it's like, oh, well, you're using the intention of saying, well, that's the Force like the Holy Spirit, or that's the Force like, faith or whatever. Like your intention is now altering it to make it okay. But like any like devout Christian family could miss the Christ figure that is Gandalf.
Because they're not looking for that.
Because you're focusing on the fact that he's a wizard. And
because most of the time, people just see
idiot.
the surface. They just see the surface level. If it's not spoon fed, like you have to look for the deeper meaning of stuff. Like it was so funny, and I think I've referred to this before, and I've definitely told you this, but like, so my parents got divorced whenever I was 5, and whenever I go to my dad's house, my dad was still big on the like satanic panic stuff. So Harry Potter was off limits. He didn't really celebrate Halloween, and also like old Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I had a card that said Lord of D. And he was like, D, is that like demon? And I'm like, no, it's like Lord of Dragons. Like, and then he had a thing that's like Flute of Summoning Dragon. Like it's like not everything's demonic or whatever. But what's so funny is like he my dad was like not big, and I'm sure, he's probably changed a little bit now, or maybe he's still the same as he was 25 years ago. I don't fucking know. But back in the day, like, oh, you can't watch that. That's witchcraft or blah, blah, blah. But we can watch a little movie called Terminator 2 Judgment Day, where it's like blood and like they're saying the F word and they're saying like God damn and like everything. And oh, it's this cool badass action movie. And there's fucking blood and skeletons and fucking, oh God, his arms off.
Yeah, you can't watch the nice movie about the wizards.
But you're not allowed to watch the movie that's like, oh, hello, would you like to make the feather float? La 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 la, good story. Nope, you see magic or you see wands or spells or you hear some sort of buzzword and it's like, nope, don't like that. Like, my dad was also very like sensitive about things that made fun of religion too. Like, we'd be watching Family Guy and as soon as they did a bit that like made fun of church, he'd be like, turn it off. And I was like, damn, fucking, like, God's not gonna get offended. And it was funny because it would always suck because it was like a good joke. And I'm like, oh, really, over that?
Yeah.
Like in the one where they went to communion and he's like, oh, you're telling me that's the blood of Christ? Oh, that guy must have wasted 24 hours a day. Huh?
Bible fight.
Yeah, like, oh my God, it was hilarious. So, but yeah, we're like not allowed to watch a lot of things. And you go back and watch them and you're like, this is not bad at all.
Yeah.
But we're definitely allowed to watch Narnia because it is the most obvious Jesus
Christ
story.
figure.
And it's so funny because I remember watching that with just like the layperson and like when Aslan died and everyone's like, oh, I was like, don't worry.
Yeah, everybody wait.
That boy will be back in 3 days. What is it, Friday? Give it till Sunday. That boy will be back at 11 a.m. He's going to come out that fucking... Well, they didn't put him in a tomb. They just put him on a stone table. But he going to wake up. He going to get Lucy and that other bitch. They going to ride it. He can fly for whatever the fucking reason. He can just start flying. And then he flies into battle and just roars and just defeats the bitch immediately. Same shit. Aslan, he was already pretty powerful. And then he was like, hey, I'm going to give myself up so you guys don't kill these motherfuckers. Because Edmund was fucking wanted to eat some Turkish delight and doomed humanity. Edmund is like the Adam and Eve story where it's like, whatever you do, don't eat Turkish delight. You ate the fucking Turkish delight, did you? Oh my God, I ate the Turkish delight. I love Turkish delight. You know I love Turkish delight. We came back here in this wardrobe, and this big ass wardrobe, dude. They got fucking convenience store back here. With
I got
Turkish
a fur
delight.
coat I'm sporting out, eating my Turkish delight, riding in a sleigh, going to a castle.
We get back to Aslan's place, and then the White Witch shows up. She's like, by the way, there will be fire and water. And they're like, what the fuck is this bitch on? And then they're just like, can I talk to you in that tent for a second? Yeah. It has come to my attention that the sons of Adam that have entered our world have eaten some of my Turkish delight. And he's like, "Oh shit! Didn't you like give it to him?" Well, yeah. Well, then what are you so mad about? Well, they entered our plate. Well, you were gonna kill him. Well, I just thought it'd be a good idea if you let me kill you so you don't doom all of humanity. And Aslan's like, you crazy as fuck, but I'll do that. You're fucking crazy. So they come out of the tent and they're like, we have reached an agreement. And then they're like, oh, everyone's safe. And then later that night, they fucking take Aslan out. And they're like, there's like all these there's like these creatures you've never seen before. They're like fucking like weird artwork. They're like, oh, kill her. They like shave him and shit. They're like, little kitty. And he's like, you guys don't know who you're fucking, like, I'm Aslan. Like, there was a gate code. You had to come into my turf earlier and press 3473 on the gate to get in. And if you press it too fast, it's going to beep twice and you have to call the gate person and be like, you here for Aslan? What are you here for? I'm the White Witch. I'm here to kill him. Well, you can't kill him, but you can arrange a meeting. Mr. Aslan, who's Liam Neeson, by the way, has has a meeting scheduled. So they kill him and they're like, now it's done. Stab him. Lucy and fucking Susan witness the whole thing, and they're like, "Oh my God, they kill him." They're of course, Mary and Mary Magdalene. They're the same goddamn characters. So it's so funny, like watching that as a kid, and then seeing like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna come back." Like, I went to Sunday school. God, the lion, there he is. And he's a lion too. Like, I couldn't have made it more obvious.
Yeah, yeah.
It was so funny because then he comes back and just like, he's like, I wasn't dead. I was asleep. And they're like, we saw you get stabbed. He's like, oh, you mean that? And he's bleeding. He's still bleeding. He's just in denial. He's like, oh, you mean this? It's nothing. I'm fine. We can go to battle.
I'm
He's
walking it
all dizzy
off.
and shit. And they're like, Aslan, we should really get you to the hospital. He's like, Aslan doesn't go to the hospital. Aslan is the hospital. And then he goes, yeah. And then the fucking wound just seals itself. And he goes, flex seal. And then he fucking rides. Oh, it's crazy. It's hilarious, dude. I don't know why I just gave the entire synopsis there.
I mean, you really nailed it. You painted a word picture and it's 100% accurate.
That's a TikTok right there.
Yeah, dude, I wrote it down. I already took note of it. Like, that's perfect.
You're like, Nolan's on one, dude.
I love it. He tied one on real good.
He is on one. Yeah. I don't know what to call this episode, but I'm more so just glad we get to catch up here. And I'm really glad just to be able to, like, the first episode was called The Power of Friendship because we started this podcast because we would always talk on the phone when you were on the way to school. So we were like, oh, we should just turn this into a podcast. But The Power of Friendship abides because as adults, we're able to look over not only mistakes, good things, mistakes, not even, I don't want to break it up to like good or bad, but just look at stuff, analyze it and be like, cool. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and take things away from it and learn things from it and just be ever adaptive. So I know you and I are both individually hard on ourselves, and there's probably some people that listen to our channel or your channel. I just said our channel. Sorry, Freudian slip.
Our podcast.
It's a collab post, baby.
Yeah.
That might be hard on themselves too. But you got to be your own best friend. Power of friendship. You got to be your own best friend, and you got to keep an open mind. I think, we, even though we're hard on ourselves, we still have something that a lot of people don't have, which is like, we're constantly like, okay, what's next? What's next to learn? Always ready to improve. A lot of people are not willing to improve. And you and I are like hyper, like, I got to improve. So using that as a superpower, boom, there you go. Instead of using the, I'll never be enough as a superpower, use it as like, or using it as like a crutch. Or like, oh, I'll never be enough. It's like, nah, dude. Like, not I'll never be enough, but like reframe it. I don't know how to reframe it into a way.
You reframe it to remain teachable. I may not know it now, but I can learn it. But remain open to whatever, and that takes away a lot of self-criticism.
In order to become the black belt, you got to start as like the white belt, like OG. You got to start as the. You have to be the amateur.
Yep.
In order to be the victor, even when you've been doing it for years, you have to always treat it like it's your first time kind of doing it. Like it's, like you still have that love for it. You're not just like, because it's easy to get caught up in like, I'm sure with a channel, okay, another video. No, you got to get caught up in like, dude, I have a channel. I am uploading this video. I am funny. I am a great editor. I am this, I am that. Boom.
I'm figuring it out. That's my,
who gives a shit if it gets views? Because it's not based on me. It's based on an algorithm. So I know it's good, whether it gets 0 views or 10,000 views or 1 million views. I know it's good. If somebody comes along and says, you're the greatest thing ever, I'm not fazed by it. If somebody comes along and says, you're a piece of shit, I'm not fazed by it. I know. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the mentality you got to move. Is like,
it's all information.
You're not fazed by compliments or insults. It's just boom. I am steady. So the podcast abides.
That's it.
Boom.
Abide.
Boom.
Boom.
How the fuck?
God, it was good. Alrighty, folks, that about wraps her up for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We loved having you along for the ride and part of the smoke sesh. There's a Dream Blunt rotation, and you are part of it. So thank you so much for listening to the next episode of Great Stone Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, leave us a review, leave a comment, whatever you want to do to engage with us. We'd love to hear from you. All of our link trees are down in the show notes or in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. Make sure to support Nolan's band Winterwell. They slap so hard, dude. So check them out, add them to your social medias, and you can always check out some of my reaction videos to all of their songs because I've been covering all of them. And make sure to subscribe to the Great Stone to Dragon YouTube channel. We love all of the support. We love getting to hang out with you guys and spend the time. So thank you all so much for taking this time with us today and letting us just keep you company with whatever you got going on, whether it's the gym or it's at work or I don't know, maybe you're jerking off listening to this. I don't know why you would, because I feel like we did a bit of a boner kill. But if that's what you're doing, well, then I hope it's treating you well. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Dragon abides.